what we're going to do now are a couple of really quick reviews that you've learned already in some previous lessons, but just to jog your memory a little bit. The first one we're going to do is the life cycle of the Pacific salmon. So, when the eggs are first laid, they are covered under the gravel in a nest. Do you remember what the nest is called that a salmon makes? That's right, it's called a redd. So the eggs are laid in the redd, and then the mother salmon covers the eggs over, and they stay in the dark in the redd until they are ready to swim up as fry. So they spend a long time under the gravel. And as they develop, they get to what we call the eyed egg stage. The eyed egg stage, you can very clearly see the young salmon growing inside there. When the eggs hatch, at this stage, we call them alevins or alevins. I like to remember it by thinking about Alvin and the Chipmunks. So they have a yolk sac on their belly. That's their little lunch bag that provides them with all the food that they need for several months that they stay quiet, away from predators, hidden under the gravel. When the yolk sac is used up, the newly formed fry swim to the surface and gulp air so that they can fill up their air sacs, so they can be buoyant to move up and down throughout the water much more easily than we can. You can also see that they're developing these stripes and markings. Those are called parr marks. The parr marks provide camouflage for them against the many predators that love to eat salmon fry for dinner. Chinook salmon fry spend 12 to 18 months in river systems. And when they do move down to the ocean, they start to lose their parr marks and gain the nice silver color as they enter the ocean. Again, that's camouflage to help in an ocean environment. And it's in the ocean where they do all that growing, put on immense size compared to when they first enter the ocean. And they spend anywhere between 4 to 6 years in the ocean if they're Chinook salmon. If they're pink salmon, they only spend a year in the ocean. And then that magic signal happens in their brain that says it's time to go back to the river that I was born in to spawn. And using a combination of what we think is response to the Earth's magnetic field and their incredible sense of smell, they return to the Fraser River and follow the Fraser River up to the stream where they were born in fact, often close to the very spot that they hatched. These salmon are sockeye salmon. We can tell they're sockeye by the orange bodies that they develop, orange-red bodies, and the green heads. Whereas these ones are Chinook salmon. And the male here is quite red. If you look at the female's tail, that's an indication that she's been digging one of her nests or redds, because all of the scales are being worn off, the fins are worn down, because she turns onto her side and she flaps away at that gravel. So that's an indication this female has been scooping out a redd. And there she is, scooping out a redd, in fact, so turned onto her side. Once the eggs are laid, she swims just a little bit upstream and scoops out more gravel that covers the eggs to protect them as they develop. And, of course, all of our Pacific salmon species, except for steelhead, die after they spawn. And in another lesson, I'm going to get into how important it is, even in death, for the environment, for the ecosystem, when a salmon dies and its nutrients go back to the river and to the forest. And just to give you an idea as to what their winter habitat looks like, this is a picture taken not far from horsefly. And this is salmon habitat in the winter. And in fact, it was in this habitat that we caught this Chinook salmon fry right here. And we've got it in a special container showing how long it is. You can clearly see the parr marks. They're beautiful fish.